when you get down to the nitty gritty of what every spiritual leader has said, it's about how can we serve?
Yeah.
And I think that's starting to seep into business. And I would imagine that for you, you are, because you're running a business that is all about service, right?
Yeah.
So how do you marry those two things, though? Because business isn't necessarily about service. Business is about profit, right? And so are you operating a nonprofit, or how does that work for you at a personal level?
I'm the founder and CEO of the nonprofit Fight for the Forgotten. And I would say it's been not different reasons in different seasons, but it's been an evolution of it being a passion project, then us giving our 501c3, and then us floating around at a certain level where we can do some stuff a year, but we can't do everything we want to do for sure. And now it's really trying to take the trajectory of it up, 5x, 10x our fundraising, so that we can do literally 50 to 100 times more with just that not smaller increase. It's big, 5, 10x, but the money goes so much further there. So it's been awesome. Like now I'm getting coaching. I always sought out the best coaches in the world for MMA, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, boxing, always sought those out. Now it's doing the same thing in the speaking world, sharing the story, raising awareness, but also through the fundraising world. Right before this, I got off a call with my executive business coach for fundraising. And what also through the journey is we started with water because I wanted to knock out the water crisis for my Pygmy family after I held a young boy in my hands that died. His name was Andy Bo. And it was $1 for the pills that would have cured him. It was $3 for the one-shot cure. It was $6 for the shovel that I bought to help dig the grave. And it was $30+ for the casket. And that just wrecked me. It ripped my heart apart. It changed me. And now, but from even before that, hearing what their vision was, Chief Leo May with a stick in the ground and actually not even stick, it's a spear. So the spear was at the top back of him, but he was drawing with the other side, the handle in the dirt. If we could have land ownership to call our own, if we could have food to eat on it, shelter on it, clean water to drink, and if we could have healthcare and education and sustainable livelihoods, like that's the dream. Like they're asking for basically basic human rights or needs and necessities. And so we finally got to the point, 13 years later, where now we have a $2.5 million commitment for the medical supplies for the hospital we're building. We get to outfit it with great stuff, but now I have to fundraise to build the actual structures, right? Over 30,000 square feet for the hospital, school, community hub, vocational school. And I would say that for me, it's all about contribution and like making a worthwhile contribution and meaningful impact. I think there's a new wave of charity coming in, and it's pretty cool to see because it used to be more about handouts, one-time things that don't last, that can actually cripple communities. That's why there's over 230,000 broken water wells in Africa right now. It's a show up, blow out technique where you announce your arrival with a parade and you throw a party and you get your pictures and peace out, you're gone. And there's no real relationship. No one locally knows how to maintenance it. And now it's like people are starting to think about how can we really meet needs and empower the locals to where they get to be the change in their own community.
Can you speak to your keynote, Purpose, Performance, Impact? I mean, who asks you to come and speak to their people, and how is this story inspiring action beyond your nonprofit?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think some of the key takeaways, another Swahili proverb that really changed my life after Andy Bo died, the one that I buried, and then I was still drilling wells and trying to get success. And we failed for another 5, maybe 6 months. We needed to make one adjustment, the smallest change to our well drilling process that made all the difference. But right before that happened, I got malaria. I lost 33 pounds in 5 days. I was vomiting red and green, blood and bile. I had something called black water fever, which 25 to 50% of the people that get that die. So it wasn't looking good. And I came back after that because one of my mentors there, he's like a father figure. I said, I think I'm out of gas. Like I failed. I've buried more than just Andy Bo. Like it's eating away at me that we haven't had any success. I don't know what to do. I've never tapped out in fighting or wrestling, anything like that, but I'm almost going to tap out. I don't know what to do. Like maybe I need to go back home and get more training. And he said this Swahili proverb, which is, if you think you're too small to make a difference, try to sleep in a closed room with a mosquito. And it's a little tongue in cheek. But whenever I thought about it more in a hospital bed with IVs in me, where I got evac'd out from Congo to Uganda, and I'm like, holy smokes, like I fought guys 6'7", 6'8", skipped 6'9", and fought a dude 6'10". Thankfully or gratefully, like I actually finished those guys in the first round, but a mosquito or a parasite, like a microscopic parasite inside of that mosquito, kicked my tail in a way that I never experienced, almost took my life. So if that little thing can make that big of a difference in my life, like how much more of a difference can we all make in the lives of each other? And I think that is hopefully the lens of the keynote, that I get people to start thinking about how can they make a difference in the life of their company, but for their customers, their colleagues, their community. We can all do so much more than we think possible. That's just the truth of it. If I look back on my journey, like I wanted to drill 2 water wells on 20 acres of land. Get them back 20 acres of land and drill 2 wells. Now it's 85 water wells providing clean water to more than 52,000 people. And we've got back over 3,000 acres of land. And I never thought this was going to be possible. It wasn't even part of the goal, but through helping both sides, the Pygmy people are severely oppressed, like some of the most oppressed people on earth. But through land ownership and drilling water wells for their oppressors, we've seen more than 1,800 people transition out of a life of actual slavery and into a life of freedom. And it was because clean water changed the lives of the people that were their slave masters. It's like, how much would this actually change your life? Could you become a dual income family when you're a single income family because your wife has to collect water all day? Could you send both kids to school because now one doesn't have to go collect water all day? And we did a survey, and we literally like, how much is this impacting you on a day-to-day basis? The average family income in this one community, they were spending $165, $168 a year on treatment of waterborne illness. Yet the average person's making $1 to $1.25 per day. And it's like, what if you had clean water? How much does that actually change? And so then it's like, hey, this is what we hope could happen. This bring peace and wholeness and community development that provides opportunity. What's the opportunity here? And we as an organization say opportunity is greater than charity. Charity can be great in certain circumstances, but opportunity is normally just always better. And so it's on broad strokes, it's my story. It's the fight for the forgotten story, and it's the story of the people we serve. But out of that, we pull out hopefully some deep, insightful moments that's like, well, how can we relate this to our own life?